everyone, and welcome to B-Ball P. And thank you, Miss McCain, for joining me today on this episode 4 of B-Ball P. My first question I'd like to ask you is, how old were you when you started to play basketball?
Oh, good question. I say second grade, but I think it was third grade. When I was in third grade, I started playing. I played at the YMCA. That was my first time. They didn't have a girls team, so I played on my brother's, I think, the boys team, and
That's
just
awesome.
played with him. And actually, kind of funny story behind that is my first couple of games, I was scared, and I sat in the stands with my mom until I kind of, watched it, see exactly what it was about. And then I got out there, and then I remember my mom said, I don't remember this so much, but my mom said the first couple games that I got out there, they passed me the ball, I just passed it right back to her.
Really?
Because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And but then played it ever since then, and then loved it.
That's awesome experience, that's good to have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
my second question I'd like to ask you is, did you have a trainer when you were younger?
A trainer? No. I did not.
Really?
I had, your high school coaches, your junior high coaches. I played in the summer ball, so we had practices. I went to camps, like individual camps, and worked on my skills, but I did not have a trainer.
Wow.
No.
That's interesting.
I did not.
Man.
Now, whenever I went to college, that was different.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the league, that was different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's-
It got more specific, I guess, as I went on.
That's really neat. That's something right there. Did you play any AAU ball when you were younger at all?
Yes. In the summers, I would play on a team. I played on different teams, and I didn't play on the same team. But it was different teams in the summer, and I always played like a year above than what I was.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely an experience that I enjoyed, and we went to. So I think it's a little different. You have state tournaments, and then you have national tournaments. So
Right.
we played locally, won the state tournament, and we went to the national tournaments wherever that was, whatever city it was. We didn't play like now. It wasn't like in city to city to city,
Right.
and all the different tournaments, because that was a lot of years ago.
Yes, ma'am. So my dad, he had the opportunity to watch you when you were in junior high, and he said you completely dominated end to end. And at the time, you realized you had a chance to play at the. Did you realize you had the chance to play at a college level when you were that young?
Let's see. Recollecting back then, I think I loved the game so much, and my skill level was recognized, by different people in different schools, and they're like, "Oh, she's got potential,"
Right.
But me personally, I just loved the game, and I had a goal. I wanted to play. Actually, it's kind of a crazy kid goal, but they didn't have the WNBA when I grew up, so I wanted to be the first female in the NBA.
That's
Just
awesome.
a kid goal,
That's a great
just
goal,
something
though.
that you wanted to do, and so that was one of my goals. Is just I loved it, and I was playing all the time whenever I could. I played other sports, but that was my go-to sport.
Right. Basketball, love it.
Yes,
Did you win a state title at Lake Hamilton?
I did. And what's funny is I went. My high school coach he has passed away. I think it was about 4 years ago. Anyway, his wife gave me a lot of memorabilia that he had. And so I was actually going through all this in the state tournament. So because in ninth grade, after my junior high season, I moved up to the 10th grade, to the high school team. Because high school at Lake Hamilton is 10, 11, and 12 at that time, which is the same thing as what it is now.
Right.
So I moved up, and then in 10th grade, we made it to the state tournament. And we got beat out by Greene County Tech in the semifinals of my 10th grade year. So 11th grade year comes, we make it to the state tournament, and we made it to the quarterfinals. And we got beat out by Greene County Tech.
Oh, again?
Same team. Yeah. Then my senior year, we made it to the finals, and we're playing Greene County Tech. And so that was my mission, was to beat
them.
Greene County Tech, and we did. So we
That's
ended up
awesome.
beting them, and we were the state champs.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's the goal for a lot of people, is to be a state champion.
Yeah,
A lot of people
is.
work for that.
Yeah.
What colleges recruited you?
My top 3 colleges that I went to visits on. I went to visit Arkansas, University of Arkansas.
That's awesome.
Went to Kentucky, and also went to Louisiana Tech. So those are my top schools that I was looking at, and I visited each one of those, and Kentucky was where it's at. Once I went there, once I visited the school, once I did all the recruiting, deep down in my heart, that's where I need to go.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Incredible.
that was home.
So Kentucky has a rich tradition. How does it feel to play in Rupp Arena?
Well, unfortunately, the women did not play in Rupp Arena at that time when I was there.
Oh no.
So, little history on that. So, Rupp Arena is owned by the city of Lexington. So, Kentucky pays a fee every game. And they didn't have the women's program, didn't play in Rupp Arena. They played at Memorial Coliseum, which is actually where the men's team practiced. So, we both practiced in the same facilities when I grew up, when I was in there. And so, we never played. But afterwards now, they do play.
Right.
I think they play a few games, not every single one of them, but a few games they play in Rupp Arena.
That's a
Because
crazy
it's still
fact.
owned by the city.
That's pretty crazy. That was wow.
Yeah, and I think the cost of it, if I remember correctly, we looked it up. This was back then. This is like $25,000 a game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
That's a
needless
cool
to
fact.
say, the women's program did not necessarily. We were in the building back of the program because it was actually really good in the 80s, and then it kind of trickled down, and then when we got there, we started winning, made it to the NCAA tournament, and then progressed on and stuff like that.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it's a nice program now. I mean, some of the facilities, you go back there, and I'm like, I missed out. I was going out the wrong year.
Oh man.
No, but it was fun. It was good.
So I know your brother was a Razorback.
Yes.
So who does your family, when they sit down, do they want the Hogs or do they want the Wildcats? So how does that work?
So when like my mom and dad and my brother, when we both were going to school, football, because he played football at the Razorback, so we cheered for Arkansas in football. Basketball, we kind of cheered for Kentucky, unless they played each other.
Ooh.
And then I was cheering more for Kentucky, of course, in basketball than I was for the boys, the men's program. So, but now my family, because my husband, he graduated from the University of Arkansas, and so he's an avid Razorback fan, and I've kind of tried to get my kids to be like diehard Kentucky fans. It just doesn't happen. No, they're Razorback fans. They're Arkansas fans. So they always give me a hard time.
That's really cool. Like that's just a rivalry, and
yes,
it's really neat. So Miss McCain, how was it in the WNBA? Was it as hard and tough as you imagined?
Yes, it was. This was a time, I'll tell you how I got in the WNBA. Like, I was not drafted or anything in the WNBA. They had an expansion teams, and so they had tryouts. And so my freshman year of college, so if you can kind of, Carolyn Peck was one of my assistant coaches my freshman year in college. And she left Kentucky, and she went on to Indiana and won the championship and became a great, fabulous coach. Anyway, they asked her, she actually moved on to the WNBA, and she was asked to be the head coach of the Orlando Miracle, which is the team that I tried out for. So she sent me an invitation to come try out, and ended up making the cut and making the team for 3 years. So I played 3 years for them, and she was my coach for 2 of those years, and 1 year was not. But anyway, the level of play, yes. So it's the best of college that goes to professional. The level of play people are on, you still have. I mean, it's just a faster. You just have faster. All the players are faster. of the fastest, I guess you could say, and just
Right.
their level of play and just what you have to play at a high level. And I can remember some of the changes is just conditioning was even more so in the WNBA, and then just you learn to play smarter as you go on, and athleticism is a good help, but you have to play smarter.
Right.
And I think that goes with it. I think the NBA too. You just have to learn how to play smarter.
That's a really cool fact.
Yeah.
Conditioning, that's a big thing, in basketball.
Yeah, I remember some of our conditioning drills that we would do in the I've never done some of them, so it was different. So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So it's just different.
So lastly, how does it feel to have your jersey retired at your high school?
That moment, it was an honor. It's very humbling sometimes that I try to, people when they talk to me or they don't know sometimes if I meet somebody, they don't know that I played basketball because that's not the first thing that I say about myself. When I can remember when Coach Boley, that was my high school coach, he was wanting to do that. That was one of the things that he wanted to do. And when he did it, I was just like, wow, And me, I'm just honored and excited and was, just very proud of it. But in a humbling way, that's a lot of work there, and I hope it set a precedent for other people to strive for that. Like any of the goals that we set here, I still have some of the, I guess records you could say, set here. But they're here for people to break. And that's what needs to happen. It's just to put it out there so people are like, ooh, I have a goal, I'm going to do that. Go for it.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's an honor, to have your jersey hanged up there. It's
Yes.
something special.
Yeah, and it's a neat thing, and with my kids going to school here, that was one of those things that they see, but and I can hear them. Sometimes I overhear them talking to their buddies about it and stuff like that. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's pretty cool. But it's just it's one thing that Coach Boley wanted to do, and I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
He was one of the great coaches that I had growing up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, Miss McCain, thank you
Yeah.
for joining us on this episode today.
Thank you.
Please,
I appreciate you.
please go like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video. B-Ball P out.
Yeah. Let's go do. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go do. Go crazy. Let's go.